Welcome to the Can't Stop the Growth podcast, the home service podcast dedicated to personal and leadership development. I'm your host, Chad Peterman, and if you're ready to grow as a leader, you've come to the right place. Let's jump in. Today we're going to talk about ambition. We're going to talk about big dreams, and we're going to talk about what may hinder those and what we can use, what we have at our disposal to make those dreams come true. There's a quote by Christopher Reeves, who I'm sure you guys all have heard of at least. We do have a younger crowd here, so he may have passed his prime a hot minute ago. But he says, "So many of our dreams at first seem impossible. Then they seem improbable. And then, when we summon the will, they soon become inevitable." Think about that. How many of you have had a dream or a big goal, and you set that goal, and then literally the next day, something hits you. Adversity strikes. Oh, God, maybe I don't want to do this. Maybe this is going to be a lot harder than I thought. We've all been there, right? Everybody's set that goal, and undoubtedly, adversity will come. If you set a goal and encounter little to no adversity, my guess is your goal wasn't that big. It wasn't something worth shooting for. You know, we've talked maybe a time before about goal setting and what that looks like. One of the things that I have learned is that in order to challenge ourselves, one rule of thumb I have learned to adopt is that whatever your initial goal is, whatever that initial thing is that you set out to do, the best thing that you can do is immediately out of the gate double it. Just whatever you think you are going to set out to do, you might as well just double it. And that's not to say that you need to achieve double what you set out to do. But in order to align our ambition with our goals, we need to set that goal high enough, because what we'll find is that we have far more in us than most of us understand. Isn't that crazy? To think about you as a person, you probably would say that you know yourself better than anybody, but what I would tell you is that you don't have any idea of how much you're capable of. You don't have any idea of what is possible. Why is that? Why would we, as humans who understand ourselves probably better than any person, not be able to comprehend what it is that we are capable of? Well, the reason is because every day you run into people, outside forces, the status quo. You run into that every day, which tells you that whatever you're dreaming is impossible. Can't be done. It's too difficult. No one's ever done it. Why is that? Why would we continually run in to things that would prevent dreamers from dreaming? Well, it's because people aren't too fond of dreamers. People aren't too fond of the people that want to stretch what has already been done. Think about it. Think about those people that continually push the bounds, especially in today's society. I was talking with a friend of mine yesterday, and we were talking about, this, that, and the other that's going on in the world. And we were like, do you think that people are comfortable always being upset about something. Like, yeah, I really think they are. I mean, if you think about some of the things that are going on in the world, it's almost like we have to find something so that we can go to our favorite social media and post about something. Because God forbid if it just is what it is, well, then we wouldn't have anything to post about. We wouldn't have anything to talk about. And those are the things that make today's world even tougher to dream in. Because everybody has an outlet to knock you down. Everybody thinks their opinion is just so important. What I would tell you is you need to block all that stuff out. The vast majority of news, this, that, or the other, guess what? It is there to stop you from achieving whatever it is that you want to achieve. I can almost guarantee you that anything that you watch on the television is probably negative and not good for you. My wife gets on me all the time. She's like, hey, did you hear about that? Nope. Hey, did you see that? Nope. Do you even care about that? Nope. And I've learned to insulate myself from all that is going on because all that is a distraction. Because my dreams and ambition align nowhere near all of the negativity that is going on in this world. We have to navigate that. If you consider yourself a dreamer, if you consider yourself to have ambition to be something more, a better version of yourself, you have to learn to navigate that. Think about it. What did you read and or see yesterday that was negative? What kind of mood did that put you in? What did that make you think about that probably pulled you further away from whatever it is that you truly want to do? You see, all of these outside forces, all of these outside people, all they are is an excuse. They're an excuse for people who don't want to set the bar just a little bit higher. It's easier to blame the outside world for why you can't do something, for why the cards that you've been dealt are going to somehow inhibit you from achieving whatever it is that you want. So if we know that these outside forces, if we know that this outside world is against us, and unfortunately, not only the outside world, but our own brains are working against us. I talk about this all the time. Our brains are designed to keep us safe. Our brains are designed to, when we see danger, when we see pain, when we see anything that may take us out of a constant state, it will tell us to stop. One of the things that I would recommend that I have, it takes a while, but have worked to train myself to do is there is my body and brain, which are over here, and then there is my ambition and dreams, which are over here. They are two different things. Because if I listen to my brain tells me to hit the snooze button. My brain tells me to go back to sleep. My brain tells me to have that one extra beer. My brain tells me to have that one extra slice of pizza, to not go work out, to not do that little bit of extra work, because it's comfortable. So many times, well, I could do that, but God, I don't really want to ride the bike. I mean, sitting here on the back porch and having a drink sounds a hell of a lot better. That's my brain talking. Well, I've learned not to listen to it much. Now, do I still listen to it? Oh, yeah, absolutely. I went over to Tyler's house on Wednesday and had quite a few pieces of pizza. I was hungry. It was good pizza. I love Chicago's. But we have to learn to listen to our brain less often and pay more attention to those ambitions and those dreams. When is the last time that you truly dreamed about something? Now think about it. When's the last time that you just sat down and thought about what could be? Thought about what it would take to get where it is that you want to go. So many people just go through life just clocking in, clocking out, next day, day after, and they never take time to dream. If I'm a grade school teacher, dreaming was always said to be a bad thing, right? You got the daydreamer. Now, there's a time and a place. But when is the last time you as an adult took time to dream? When is the last time you allowed yourself to listen to your ambition rather than your brain? We all need to take time to dream. We all need to take time to picture in our minds what that will feel like. What if you reached out and grabbed it, what it would feel like? What's outside smell like? What is going on in your life? Dream so vividly that it almost takes you there. Because dreaming is about putting yourself in that place that you want to be. It's not about just simply thinking about it. It's about putting yourself there and continuing to do it over and over and over again until one day you wake up and you're there. And it doesn't just happen, but it happens because we can see it. We've been there. We know what that feels like. And some of you may be saying, well, I don't know what it's like to be there. Well, make it up. Go there. We can all design our lives however we want. We have that power. Make it look like whatever it is that you want it to look like. Yeah, you may find out that it's a little bit different, but your made-up place is a hell of a lot better than a non-made-up place. It's a hell of a lot better than where you're at now. because you can't get to where you want to go living like you are now. You can't achieve something more by doing exactly what you're doing right now. You got to do something different. You got to change. You got to feel a little bit of pain, a little bit of discomfort. That's what it's about. If you're comfortable, you're probably not moving towards it. I've been trying to get back into playing some golf here recently. I used to play all the time when I was younger, before kids. And I took a golf lesson about a month ago on a Saturday, and he had me like holding the club and doing some different things, and I was like, this is really uncomfortable. He goes, I know. I go, so let me guess. I probably need to be uncomfortable for about all summer. He goes, yeah. Then you'll know you're doing it right. I go, because if I'm comfortable, I'm probably going to hit it like I used to. Yeah, you got it right. I go, well, this is really uncomfortable. I like to enjoy playing golf. He goes, well, you're going to be uncomfortable all summer. Newsflash. I said, okay, well, I'll get on that. What I'll tell you is leaning into that discomfort, comfort comes a lot quicker the harder you lean into it. The more consistently you lean into it. You see, achieving big things is not about getting a big result today. It's not about getting a big result tomorrow. It's not about getting a big result next week. It's about doing little things consistently. So once you have that dream, that vision of where you're going to go, and it better be big. It better be damn big. Like, I mean, if you're dreaming about like a promotion or like doing something cool this month, like that ain't big enough. Like you'll do those things on the way to wherever the hell you want to go. So start thinking about that place. What I can tell you is I'll put my dreams up against anybody's. So don't think you're going to like get made fun of. I got some wild ass ones. But guess what? I think about it all the time. Think about it every day. Try to think about it on the drive to work when the kids aren't screaming. Or we're listening to We Will Rock You 14 times. It's a great song, by the way, if you guys haven't listened to it in a while. It's a dandy. Get you pumped up in the morning. Blake, she's usually dancing in her car seat back there. We're getting ready for school. Comes in, ball of fury. Poor teachers. One of my favorite things to do is to drive. Because when I'm driving, I'm paying attention, but I'm also thinking. And that is where I love to be. Because what I have seen is that dreaming and thinking about where it is that you want to go, if you think about it long enough and hard enough, your brain will start to understand that it doesn't have a choice but to get on for the ride. You have to trick your brain and your body into doing whatever it is that you want to do. And the best way to do that is to continually think about it. Think about just beating your brain with whatever it is that you want to do. Whatever that dream is that is so big that someone's liable to call you crazy. Because if no one's calling you crazy, more than likely, you're not dreaming big enough. I talked a little bit about this a couple weeks ago about how I really drive my dad up a wall to test my dreams, to get that pushback that I need to keep trying to run through it. And I'll tell him, he'll sit down in my office, and I'll just start rattling off all this stuff we're going to do and people we're bringing on and this, that, and the other. And he's like, geez, maybe we ought to slow down or something. I go, nope, can't. We're going for it. Well, I don't know if we should do that. Okay. I think we ought to. Everybody here's on board too. So there's a lot of us, and there's only one of you. So we overrule. But find those people who will push back. What I'll tell you is they're easy to find. You can find them anywhere. Just go tell somebody some big-ass dream of yours and watch them look at you like you got 3 heads. That's what you want to feel. Feel that pushback. Embrace that pushback. Find those people who don't believe in you or who think that you're crazy. That's when you'll know that you're heading in the right direction. Just like I said earlier, if your goal is to, I'm going to do better this month than I did last month. Okay, cool. I'm going to quadruple what I did last month. Okay, now we're talking. How you plan to do that? Okay, well now it's time to come up with your plan. Push on that edge. Because when you push on that edge, you then are forced to align your actions with achieving that. And even if you don't get there, you're going to go a hell of a lot farther than just doing a little bit better than you did last month. Because if you say, my goal is to quadruple what I did, okay, well, how are you going to get there? Most things, most goals are a simple math equation. And I hate math, but I can do addition, subtraction, the easy stuff. That's why I don't understand why they taught you math past like 5th grade. I mean, does anybody use anything but the 4? Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division? No. Geometry? What is that? So weird. And then they start throwing letters in there. Oof. I don't need any of that. I mean, seriously, who's used anything but those 4 in the last like 5 years? No one. If you have, well, sounds like a boring job. But it's a simple math equation. Figure out where you want to go, and you can work backwards from there. That's how all goals work. You can work backwards to what you need to do today. There's a quote by Robert Orban. I'm not sure who he is, but he's got a good quote here. Always remember there are 2 types of people in this world: the realist and the dreamers. The realists know where they're going. The dreamers have already been there. So as we talked about earlier, a big part of achieving what it is that you want to achieve is you have to be able to see it. You got to be able to feel it. You have to be there. That's why we write the vivid vision every year. Well, you can do that for yourself. I challenge you to do it for yourself. That puts you there. That puts you in a place 3 years from now and what that's going to look like. If any of you have been with us for any length of time, Isn't it weird how all of that stuff happens? No, it's not weird. It's because we've already been there. We wrote it down. We look at it. And we implant that image in our brain. So our brain knows no other direction to go. It thinks it's normal just to do this. Well, I guess that's what you said to do. Whereas if I couldn't see myself there, if we couldn't see this place in that place 3 years from now, it'd be very tough to get there. It'd be like going on a road trip without directions. You're just kind of meandering through life. Set your destination. Set where it is that you want to go. What's that look like? Get clear on it. And then devise the path to get there. It's possible. Literally, anything is possible. There is a way there. If no one's ever done it, even better. There's still a way there. Find out whatever it is that the person closest to that place that you want to go that no one's ever been, and just realize you're going to have to do more than that. Again, simple equation, right? Well, they did all of this and got here. Well, you're probably going to have to do a little bit more to get to wherever it is that you want to go. Simple math. Is that place that you want to go a little bit scary? Think about it. I'm sure some of you right now are thinking about that place that you want to go. You've probably thought about it before. Hopefully this talk is kind of re-energizing those wheels, getting those wheels turning in your head. But think about, honestly, what has only allowed you to think about it just a couple of times? What has allowed you to lose sight of that one time that you thought about, God, it'd be really nice to be there, or I'd really like to be this person, or whatever it is. Everybody's got something different. There's no right or wrong to this thing. That's the best part. Is it because it scares you a little bit? That's your brain talking. Your brain's telling you that it could be a little bit scary. There's a chance that you may not get there. There's a chance that there could be some pain and discomfort involved. If you're not scared, again, you're not dreaming big enough. If people aren't calling you crazy and you're not scared, then ratchet it up, because you're doing yourself a disservice. If it scares you because it's really, really hard to see, think about it more. It should be hard to see at first. Like, how in the world are we ever going to get there? I don't have the slightest clue. Okay, well, let's think about it some more. How in the hell are we ever going to get there? And you just think about it all the time. And guess what? Things start to appear. Answers start to come. Because you are directing your brain to seek out those answers. To seek out the solutions to the problems that you will need to solve on your way to getting to where you want to go. Anybody ever had a goal like that? You didn't really quite know the answer, but all of a sudden you started moving towards it just, well, I'm going to give it a shot. I'm not really sure where I'm going. And then all of a sudden, things start to happen. Situations appear and you start to learn from them. Like, oh man, yeah, that was really helpful. oh shoot, I think I'm heading where I want to go. And then you start to gain momentum. And then you can feel your ambition kicking in as the picture becomes clearer and clearer. And all of a sudden, you wake up and, oh, I think I know exactly how to get there. I just got to keep pushing. Achievers are united by their ability to see the world clearly, unhindered by fear of obstacles. That's in a book called The Arc of Ambition. I'd recommend reading it. It's by James Champy. Achievers are united by their ability to see the world clearly, unhindered by fear of obstacles. Wherever you want to go, if it's big enough, it's going to suck getting there. It is. It's going to suck. But it will suck less if you refuse to view anything in your way as an obstacle. There's going to be tough times. There's going to be times when that vision of yours becomes blurred. But you've got to keep pushing. Because there are no obstacles in life if you choose to learn from everything that happens to you. Do that. The next time that something on the outside appears as though it sucks, as though like, oh, crap. What I want you to do is I want you to take a step back and find something to learn from that situation and watch your brain switch. It's very similar to, I've talked about it a lot of times, if you're in a bad mood, sit down and write down 3 things you're grateful for and watch your brain, your entire body just, all of the worry just drops away. The same thing will happen if you choose to learn from everything in your life. Even times when you screw up. Like think about it, you go run a call and it just goes, you just bomb it. Like it is not great. Guess what? You can find 3 things that you could do a little bit better. You could take ownership of that. That's what dreaming is about. We've talked about it so many times. Are you going to take ownership of your dreams? Or are you going to let the outside world dictate where you're going to end up? The vast majority of people are going to do the latter. You can see it. You know people like this. They've went through their whole life just letting life just beat them around. Like they're professional excuse makers. Like nothing has ever been their fault. And I'm like, damn, that is remarkable. That you have found no fault in your entire life, yet everything seems to be crumbling around you. I have a feeling there's a common denominator here. But they can't see it. They are so blinded by what they refuse to learn. What they are intent on making an obstacle. What they are intent on making sure prevents them from where it is that they want to go. This is one of my favorite things to talk about because it's so much fun to do. It literally is. Like, you get to write your own story. Like, think about it for a minute. Where is it that you want to go? I'm guessing that a lot of you are thinking of, like, yeah, this is where I want to go. Like, this is who I'm going to be. Like, I can see it. Like, I'm going to do this. You get to write that story. If you're not where you want to be today, guess what? There is a path to get where it is that you want to go. But again, it's going to suck getting there. It's going to be uncomfortable. You're going to have to ask for help. You're going to have to be vulnerable. You're going to have to do things that you don't want to do in order to get where it is that you want to go. Because if everything along that path was something you wanted to do, well, then you ain't really going to a great place. You ain't going too far from where you're at now. If you are intent on waking up every day and being as comfortable as humanly possible, you will remain in the same exact spot you are today. And the majority of people will do this for their entire lives. And it will never, ever be their fault that they are no further from where they were years ago. Don't be that person. Refuse to make an excuse. Think about that in your life. Think about if you went into today, moving forward, it's the first day of July, if you said to yourself, I will not make an excuse moving forward. Think about how far you will push yourself if you refuse to make an excuse. Better yet, take inventory of how many excuses you make on a daily basis. There's excuses for everything. Didn't make it here, wasn't able to do this. Must have been somebody else's fault, wasn't mine. I didn't do that. But rather, well, I think we can learn something from that. I think I can get a little bit better from that. Well, that didn't go my way, but by golly, I'm going to make sure that it does next time. Because I'm going to learn something. You see, when we make excuses, we pull ourselves back. When we learn, we're always moving forward. Always. Regardless of what happens, you can't help but move forward. But what we have to understand is our ambition, that ability to take ownership, that ability to not make excuses, is inspired by that dream. It's inspired by that vivid place we can see ourselves in the future. I want you to take time today. You've got half a year left, 2022. Half a year left to get really, really clear on where it is that you want to go. You've got half a year to start thinking about it every single day. A lot of you guys are on the road for quite a while, each day. What a great time to turn off that radio and think about where it is that you want to go, what that looks like, what it feels like. You will be hard-pressed to do the things that I'm recommending doing by taking ownership, not making excuses, unless you have something that inspires you. What I will tell you as it relates to leadership is those that can see themselves in that future place regardless if their dream is like anyone that they're around. What I will tell you is that those people are people that are followed. Because everyone wants to be inspired, right? Everyone. Like, there isn't a person that would raise their hand and say, you know what, count me out on the inspire train. You know, I don't need to be inspired. That sounds silly. No one's going to say that. If you do, well, I don't know. So if everyone wants to be inspired, and we know that your dream, your picture of where you want to be is inspiring, then it's time to start leading today. It's time to set that vision, and people will follow. Anytime I do an interview or anything like that, a lot of people ask me, like, well, what's the most important thing, or what would you attribute your guys' success to? It's an inspiring dream. That's the key to our success. If we just simply installed furnaces and water heaters and changed out electrical panels, guess what? Super cool, I know, but not real inspiring. There's a lot of you that probably wouldn't be here if we didn't have a group of dreamers. If we didn't have a group of people who came in every day wanting to be better, wanting to just do it just a little bit better than yesterday. That is our inspiring dream. That is why we are able to come together and do amazing things, and do the things that we do on a daily basis. Because what I will tell you is the things that we do, not many people do. I'm not just saying that. Literally, the things that we do, not many people do. So if we've assembled this group of people, if we have all come together, it's now our job to continue to paint that picture of what the future looks like. And the more vivid each of us can paint our picture, the more inspiring things we will do as a group. That's the best part of working on a team, is everyone in this room has a different picture of what the future looks like. However, as we talked earlier, there's a lot of things working against achieving your dreams, including our own brains. So we all have an obligation as leaders, as teammates for each other. We all have an obligation to figure out what it is that we want to become and to work towards that, because that is inspiring. That is the thing that when one of your teammates is down and someone on the team runs into a rough patch, guess what? They can look to someone on this team for inspiration, knowing that, hey, they're doing it, they're uncomfortable, they're going down the path less traveled, they're enduring a few things that suck too. I can get through this. That is leadership in a nutshell. Isn't that cool? Leadership, I always say, super simple. You literally got a dream, work towards it every day, and you'll have people following you. It's inevitable. They have to. There's no position at this company that is deemed leadership and non-leadership. Everyone is. Everyone's doing it. Paint that picture. Work towards it. Work backward from where it is that you want to be. Ask for help. I guarantee there's people around here that know how to get there or will help you along the way to the next step. But that's what we're doing. You're doing it right now. Just believe in yourself every single day. Understand where it is that you're going, and you will get there. It's going to suck, but enjoy that. Lean into that. Endure that. Find those that call you crazy, and find those, especially around here, that are living their inspiring dream. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed what you heard, I would greatly appreciate if you would rate the show or share it with someone who might enjoy it. As the name suggests, we are always looking to grow, so let me know in the comments what you thought and if there is anything you would like to hear on future episodes. Come back again soon, and always keep growing out there.